Joseph W., to whom is this challenge being sent?
Terry, I've got a challenge for our five city managers and for our first and third district supervisors. So Supervisor Paul Cook and Supervisor Don Rowe. I've lived out here for 38 years as of May 13th. Very few of the people that will watch this, I'm going to send this to the city managers of Victorville, Apple Valley, Hesperia, Barstow, and Adelanto, and also Supervisor Rowe and Supervisor Cook's office. Many were not around back in the 90s when many of us helped create what ultimately became the High Desert Regional Economic Development Authority, REDA. And I think if there's one thing that besides my wife and our partnership, and what we've done at VVC with 5 other trustees, REDA was really a big deal to me. I've always felt that the region needs to market as a region, and what's happened is the Antelope Valley has continued with that. And a friend of mine, a 30-year-old friend of mine, and Terry, I'll give you his name and number so you can post it on here, and we'll see if any of these 7 leaders want to make contact. His name's Drew Mercy. So I met Drew Mercy 33 years ago. I met him through my attorney at the time. Her name was Diana Norris. Her name's Diana Carlone O'Malley. Drew is very much involved in the Yellow Valley. I mean, he has served for Senator Runner George and Sharon. He worked with Congressman Knight. He sits on the Antelope Valley East Kern Water District Board. But in all the positions that he has fulfilled and political players that he's worked with, he now runs a group called the Antelope Valley Economic Development Corp. It's called AVEDGE, AVEDGE. They do an annual deal. Francisco and I just attended. We took a favorite developer over by the name of Tom Lenny over last Wednesday night. So we're filming this on Sunday afternoon, March 22nd. So we had dinner with him on the 18th, and they did the show on the 19th. They had about 475 people at the Antelope Valley Fairgrounds. Great cross section. We went last year, and I really want to go this year, and so when I took Francisco Diaz, our executive vice president. The thing that I liked about it, and the reason I'm pushing this, is it'd be nice if the high desert through the county, and Derek Armstrong is the economic development director, and I will include him on this, if maybe they put something together like this for our region, for people like me that are out, helping attract jobs and stuff. We've only created like 10,000 jobs in the years that we've been here, and we've done more industrial than anybody. But at the end of the day, Drew did a great job. So they had presentations by the city of Palmdale, presentations by the city of Lancaster. And the one thing that I want to stress, Terry, besides the cooperative level, many years ago, Frank Robertson, who used to be the town manager for the town of Apple Valley, asked me if I would help create an economic council again. I said no. It took a lot of work. We learned a lot of stuff. If anybody wanted to do it, I'd be glad to sit down and tell you what worked and what didn't, because we had a we had a 25-member board. Half was public and half was private. We had $500,000 a year of funding. Cities paid a pro rata share out here. We had an executive director by the name of Ron Rector. We had an executive assistant by the name of Lisa Lemire. Lisa was worked with me at Bradco when I originally incorporated. So it was an ongoing deal, and unfortunately, one company left and the other one, so we kind of blew apart. It'd be nice to see that again, but it'd be nice to put together a document like this. But more importantly, let me tell you what I've learned. When I went last year, they have the mayor of Lancaster is a gentleman by the name of R. Rex Paris. And R. Rex Paris is an incredibly noted attorney, has to be top 100 attorneys in the country. He's done incredibly well. He's very political, but he cares deeply. And what Lancaster was finding, so the Antelope Valley and our valley literally are within 25,000 people of the same population. We share Palmdale Boulevard and Bear Valley Road, I think, are the same elevation. My first major deal was out there. I've always enjoyed the Antelope Valley, but what I noticed, going back to Rex Paris, Rex last year explained that the sheriff's department contracts with Palmdale and with Lancaster And then you have Rosamond, which is unincorporated in Kern, and Mojave and Cal City and Tehachapi. They're all part of this AV Edge, so they're kind of like our regional deal out here that I would call Mojave River Valley. Rex said last year that they continued to contract with LA County, but they came back and recreated their own police department. And because they recognize that crime is a big issue. So anybody watching this that doesn't realize that crime is absolutely out of hand out here, I recently sat down with my friend Frank Kelly, who's a member of the African American community and a noted leader on out here. We were having coffee, and I said, "Frank, what's going on?" And he said, "Joe, we've got black on black. We've got a big issue out here. We got a crime issue." But Rex says, as the mayor, so here he's an incredible litigator. Okay, he's done incredibly well. He says between last year, so I was really impressed in what they did. So this year he talks about, he walked in, he has a new city manager, and I've got the gentleman's card. And he said to him a year ago, "I want to bring AI. I want the best police department in the country." In the country. And if you know Rex Paris, you're not going to say no, because you're not going to be city manager very long. If you're a department head, you say no, you're not going to be there. Rex is a very powerful guy out there. And Drew, I would tell you this. So Drew is my longtime friend, plus also my campaign manager for my VVC deal. I'd love to sit down. I'll drive out any day to have lunch with that guy. I would drive. I said Francisco, because when we were coming home, he said, "You really admire that guy?" I said, "I'd drive 3 hours to have lunch with him." So what I'm going to suggest somehow is, if somebody's already created something in my industry we would like to share, like best practices, why don't we get the city managers to connect with the city manager out there and figure out. So in AI, they've introduced AI in the last year. They now have 35 different forms of AI that are substantially reducing down their Part 1 crimes. Like February they gave was down 32%. So I know that some people would say, "Well, Joe, we already do it this way." Well, in my world, if somebody else does it better than I do, I go adapt to what they're doing, because I have no pride of authorship. So for Keith and Jesse, Rachel, Rochelle, we have I understand we have a new town manager. I think his name is Guy. To Supervisor Cook, through Tim and Terry and Dakota Higgins, through Don Rowe, who's our chairman. I think we should talk to somebody that's actually now done it. And I walked away so fired up over what he's doing. And the crime, I think, is going to hurt us if we don't do something about it. Companies take a look, and the sheriff, his police chief, and the sheriff got up and talked, and they talked exactly about why businesses won't come to a place. If you don't have good education, you don't have all the amenities that people want. Education is one of them. Crime is a huge issue that you can get the stats on. So this Antelope Valley Edge, Drew, you did a great job. I'd like you to share this with your board. You're not only a great friend, but you're a great leader, and I'm proud that you've done what you've done over there. Hopefully years from now, maybe we can get an economic development group out. I'm not gonna, we'll participate on the side, but we won't be a part of creating it. But I think it's time that we look at how do we package this, and how do we show that we can bring people together, and how can we reduce our crime. The crime out here, everybody, it's the number one issue I hear from people all the time, that they don't like it. So God bless you all, God bless America, and have a great day. Bye.